Hello, loves. It's Kat here from Self-Unity. And for today's reading, we will be receiving messages of guidance that you most need to hear or receive at this time. For today's reading, I am using the Wildwood Tarot. And of course, I'll let you know the names of the Oracle decks as I pulled the cards from them. However, I am filming this reading in alignment with the new moon in Gemini. So the new moon in Gemini is happening on Monday, May 26th at, let's see, what time is it happening? At 11:02 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so 11:02 Eastern Time on May 26th, we have the new moon in Gemini happening. And I am definitely feeling that new moon in Gemini energy, so you may be feeling this energy as well. So let's go ahead and talk about it for a minute. So what's coming through is Gemini is a sign of duality, and new moons represent new beginnings. And so I do feel that this new moon is going to bring in divine clarity. It's going to bring in the answers you've been seeking, the answers you've been asking to receive. And what I'm seeing for many of you, yeah, it's right in alignment with the message I just got. What I'm seeing is that the answers you've been wanting to receive, you have known all along what those answers are. They have been within you for quite some time. It's just that this new moon in Gemini is now highlighting this energy of not being able to hide from those answers. You're no longer being able to deny that those are the answers you've been seeking, okay? And so that's going to mean something different for everybody. So for some of you, you've been receiving the answers that you've needed. It's just there could be fears that are connected to it. Look at that. We have 13, the journey. This is the death card in traditional tarot, popping right out for us. Yes. It's just that some of you could have been denying that those are the answers that you have been needing. One, because maybe you are fearing the potential outcome that will occur or happen to you if you were to allow yourself to pursue whatever it is that you're wanting to pursue based on the answers that you are receiving, that intuitive awareness around what you know it is that you need to do, what you know it is that you need to take action on, or what you need to speak, what you need to say, what you need to create, what you need to change, what you need to transform. You already know what it is that you're meant to be taking those action steps towards. You know what you're meant to be releasing, what you're meant to be transmuting and transforming. There's just been this energy of feeling a little bit stuck, feeling unsure, maybe allowing yourself to be misguided. And part of it comes from this energy of like being very comfortable, wanting to stay in your comfort zone, not wanting to step outside the lines. Maybe you're sticking within somebody else's boundaries and not wanting to take a risk and upset them and step out those lines. Some of them could be like conditioned beliefs, where you have conditioned beliefs that somebody else has implicated on you, maybe your parents, maybe a teacher, and you're not wanting to step outside their conditioned beliefs to take a risk on yourself and the intuitive guidance that you're feeling called to pursue because it's not in alignment with somebody else's rules or beliefs, okay? But this new moon in Gemini is saying you can no longer hide within the shadows. It is time to transform and to spread your wings and to fly high, to fly towards this balance that you have been seeking and asking. Okay, so things are going to be balanced out for you with the beginning of this new moon in Gemini energy coming in. And for some of you, you're going to be able to move through this energy with like open arms and fluidity and grace. And some of you, it may be a little bit of a battle where you're not wanting to give in, but the universe is saying now is your time to give in. Now is your time to accept that this change, this transformation is happening because it's something that you asked for. It's something that you're deeply desiring to experience, to hold, to have, to be. All right, let's see what your other cards are, though. So we have Page of Bows, the Stoat. Yeah, right there, new beginning. 3 of Vessels, Joy. Yes, okay. Yes, okay, let's see what all our cards are. Look at that, we have 14 balance. That energy of duality and things coming into balance, yes. All right, and this is Temperance and traditional tarot. And then we have 2 of Bows, Decision. Wow. powerful reading, right in alignment with everything I was just speaking around this new moon in Gemini energy. Okay, so what I'm seeing here with the Page of Bows and the Stoat here is that there is a new beginning that is available to you, but it is going to require you to make a decision, and not just make a decision from a mental standpoint, but to make a decision from a physical standpoint. There is something that you have been being guided to take action on, to pursue, and to make a change around. Okay, so for some of you, this is going to be developing new habits, new routines. For some of you, this is going to be about letting go of bad habits, quote unquote bad habits, habits that just don't serve you, habits that you can't carry forward with you into these new spaces that you're wanting to be in and be connecting with and be embracing. Okay. And then for some of you, there's something that you're meant to maybe create, something you're meant to give life to, and you need to start taking those action steps to give life to that and to breathe it into existence. Okay, and then the other thing I was picking up on here too is, conversations. Some of you may be needing to have conversations around what it is that you've been sitting on. Okay, so I feel that some of you are in this stuck energy because you're keeping something to yourself. Let's see, I'm feeling called to draw this top card. Yeah, 6 of Vessels, reunion. And then we also have 20, the Great Bear. Okay, so yes, so these two cards are signifying that there's something that you need to come forward with. Okay, so for some of you, it's around where you've been sitting on these ideas, you've been sitting on the answers around what it is that you need to take action on. But again, for some of you, there could be this hesitancy out of fear. Okay, maybe fear of responsibility, fear of the potential outcome, fear that it may not work out. Okay, and so what you're being guided to do here is to communicate about this with a trusted loved one. Communicate about this with yourself, with a mentor, with a life coach, with a family member or a friend, somebody that can hold you while you work through these mental blocks that you're experiencing in the physical world. Okay, because right now it's like this energy where you're really keeping it to yourself and you're unable to move forward with taking these action steps that you need to take on it because you're getting too much in your head. And so by opening up to a loved one or a trusted mentor, a life coach, a spiritual guide, anyone who's coming to mind, by opening up and sharing and speaking about these blocks that are preventing you from moving forward with this, it's going to help you, one, bring it out into the physical through your voice first and foremost. You're not going to be keeping this energy stuck and stored within any longer. You're going to be verbalizing it, which will be allowing it to create this frequency energy that exists within your physical spaces, within reality. And then you will also be creating this energy, this like sense of proof, because you're communicating about this with somebody else. And then in return, you'll also be able to receive healing guidance or advice or just the support that you need to know that it's okay for you to move forward with this intuitive guidance that you're receiving, these ideas, these action steps that you're needing to move forward with, that you're feeling guided to move forward with some sense of support and like a trusted friend or family member supporting you and helping you along the way. So we have 255 on the clock right now. 5 is that number of growth, support, being in between something. Right now you're in between worlds, but you have the power and the capability, the tools, the skills, and the means to step over that line and enter into the whole new world, the essentially higher world, okay? And to restore the balance that you're seeking. Restore the balance within yourself to create that balance in your physical world as well. Okay, but this experience, these action steps that you're getting guidance on, once you make that decision in the physical world, you start taking those action steps that signal to yourself and to the universe that yes, this is what I want, this is what I'm pursuing in a physical sense. I'm actually doing the things that I need to do to make this manifestation come true or to achieve this level of desired success or desired outcome, whatever it is. It's going to be deeply healing and it's going to bring you a lot of joy. It's going to be like something that you get to celebrate. Okay, the Three of Vessels is all about a celebration. And so with that too, Spirit's saying it's not about the end goal. So I feel like for some of you, there's like this desired end goal that you have in mind, and that's what you may be getting attached to, and why you're not taking those action steps on this path is because you're really hyper focused on, like, you know, jumping over the progressive steps, jumping through the process and just getting to the end, you know, not wanting to climb up the mountain, just wanting to get on a helicopter and be flown right up to the top. But you have to actually take those steps. You have to actually walk up the mountain your steps, yourself, your steps. You have to walk up the mountain yourself and actually take those steps and meet the universe halfway. Okay, so you may start your journey walking up the mountain, and then along the way you may find that you're actually enjoying the walk. You're discovering new things about yourself, about your environment, about your skill set, about your wisdom, about your divinity, about your connections, your relationships. You know, you're just going to be able to see this experience in a whole new light than if you were to just keep it stored within your own being and not take these actual action steps to materialize it, to bring it into physical existence. Okay, so get started on this, and whichever way you need to right now. If you are feeling a little scared, a little fearful, open up and talk to somebody close to you about this. If you are ready to dive in, you've been ready to dive in, you have the tools you need, the skills you need, the connections you need, start reaching out to those spaces, start creating that daily habit to give this idea, this creation, whatever it is, to give it your time, energy, and attention, at least for, you know, a few minutes to a couple hours a day or once a week, whatever works best for you. You already know the game plan. It's just a matter of actually, quote unquote, materializing it, actually acting on it and creating it in this physical life. Okay, and that's going to restore the balance that you're seeking, bring in fresh new perspectives around this idea, this concept, this path, and it's also going to bring in a lot more like renewed joy and peace and harmony. Okay, and it is a transformational process as well. So I'm going to put these back in the deck, and we're going to draw some oracle cards now. Okay, so we're going to draw some oracle cards from the Healing with the Fairies. So let's see. Okay, this one wants to come out. Visualization. Visualization. Your visualizations can only come true if you meet them halfway. You can't just sit around visualizing what you want to happen and expecting the universe to do all the work. You have to meet it halfway and use the tools, use the skills, use the wisdom that you have right now to help it along the path. Okay, and it's not just helping your ideas along the path and your visualizations along the path, it's also going to be helping you in very magical and mysterious ways that you're not able to see just yet. Okay, because like I said, you're wanting to just like get in a helicopter and be flown to the top of that mountain, but if you were to do that again, you would miss some beautiful views, you'd miss some beautiful experiences that you're needing to help you on your journey of growth and ascension up that mountain. We have one extra card here. And you would miss the connection that is trying to form between you and this path. Okay, so for some of you, this is like a project that you're creating, something you're giving life to. You would miss the connection that you're meant to have with this aspect of creation if you were to just be flown to the top and already have it done. Okay, for some, this could be about like a relationship. You would miss the bonding aspect, those, you know, fresh new beginnings that happen in new relationships if you were to just be flown to the top and already get the ring, you know. So it's like really like that energy where you know, enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, and have fun just making memories along the way. Okay, so we have a miracle healing, and let me show you the visualization card too. Beautiful imagery here. Okay, we have a new location. Yes, having to form new ways of being, tapping into new environments. Wow, we have a romantic partner. Yes. So for some of you, this is about a relationship. And then we also have look inside yourself. All right, let's scoot these down a bit. Yeah, look inside yourself. You already have the answers. Okay, so first, with the romantic partner, some of you may need to open up to a romantic partner, like we talked about with the Six of Cups and the Great Bear card, where you're needing to communicate with your romantic partner about where you're feeling blocked in this journey, in this path, because they will be able to offer you the support, the love, and the care that you need to allow yourself to actually start taking those action steps and to progress forward on this path. For some of you, this is about drawing in a new romantic partner. And what I'm getting with that is you probably already have a, like quote unquote potential suitor. There's somebody that you're already in connection with. It's just that you may not yet have taken the action steps to voice your interest in this person, and maybe they haven't taken any steps to express their interest in you either, and so you're just kind of like teetering on the edge, like, are they into me, are they not? And so this is your sign that if you are consistently feeling called to reach out to them and initiate something with them, and your intuition is guiding you to do that, then they are probably also feeling a similar way. But you're not going to know the actual answers of the physical aspect of this connection until you reach out and ask them or let them know how you're feeling about them. Okay, so this is your sign to make that move, especially if it's something that you have already been thinking about and considering. Okay, make the move first. Okay, you don't have to wait around. You can take those action steps and voice to them how you're feeling and that you're interested in them, because they may not even know, but once you communicate to them about it, then they'll be able to reflect on it and think about it and decide for themselves, and maybe even open up those new pathways that you're seeking interest in moving forward. Okay, so some of you are going to be traveling soon, going to new places, and this traveling is not just about like taking vacations. I'm also seeing that you're going to be putting yourself into new environments, and this is going to be required of you when you start taking these action steps on this new passion, this new path, this new creative pursuit, this new job, these new relationships, where you're going to be called into new environments that you may not necessarily be comfortable being in. But again, that's like stepping outside your comfort zone. You've been in that comfort space, and that's why things are a little out of balance, because you're getting this intuitive internal guidance to move forward with something new, to transform something in your life in the physical, and part of that is moving yourself into new physical spaces, new environments. Okay, so some of you may be getting a new job. Maybe you are going to be doing like seminars or conferences where you're going to like events, social events where people are speaking about these things that you're interested in, that you're wanting to learn more about. So like networking events where you can really put yourself out there and tell people what it is that you're offering, what it is that you're pursuing, and you can also learn from them in return. Okay. Also school, maybe somebody's going back to school, taking classes, or just going to school in general, not necessarily going back, taking classes and advancing in their knowledge and their skill set around whatever this could be about. Okay, so for some of you, maybe you are considering going back to school, and this is your sign that you need to start taking those action steps to get yourself actually enrolled in those classes, so that way you can start showing up in those classes and learning those skill sets, learning that new wisdom, developing your skill and knowledge base. Okay, let's see what this miracle healing is about. Let's draw a couple cards here. It's under the Page of Bows. Okay, so Spirit's saying once you start taking that, yeah, right there, we have the Queen of Bows. Yes, so once you physically decide, you've already decided internally. It's just for some of you, you're like teetering back and forth. You're hesitant because you have some internal blocks that you need to work through. But once you start taking those physical steps, this energy of like a miracle healing is going to happen, where you're going to just be able to embrace the energy of the Three of Cups, the joy, the harmony, the peace. That fear is going to dissolve away from you, and you're going to invite in the energy of, wow, this is a miraculous path. Why didn't I get started on this sooner? Because it's going to be so deeply healing to you. It's going to awaken your eyes and your mind and your spirit. It's going to be like a rejuvenation path where you're just seeing the world in a whole new light. You're seeing yourself in a whole new light. And it's really going to feel like you have this miracle healing cast over you. You're going to be on top of your game. You're going to be in this Queen of Bows energy, and you're going to be really connected with your creative energy. You're really going to be in the flow. Things are going to be flowing. They're going to be balanced. You're going to feel that energy of harmony come over you, okay? But it's only going to happen if you start making progress on this journey. And by making progress, I mean by just taking that first step. And for some of you, it's just about having a conversation. For some of you, it's about, getting out the tools that you need to make this thing happen, applying for those jobs, applying to that school, sending in those applications, pulling out the keyboard, writing, getting out the paintbrush and the canvas, pulling up the pictures, the reference pictures. You already know what it is that you need to do. You already know what the next step is. It's just a matter of you getting yourself into place and taking those next steps. Okay, let's see what else is going to come through now with this deck here. This is I think this is Nature's Whispers, or Healing with Nature's Whispers Oracle deck. All right, so let's see what's going to come through. And let's see if we can get some new insight, because we're kind of getting similar messages here. So let's get some new insight. So we have 5, release. Release the past. You're no longer in those spaces. And then we have 2, compassion. Return that compassion back to yourself. Let's get one more. Okay, we'll take this one. Vibration. All right, let's do this way. Okay. So first off with this release. Okay, so what I'm getting overall is it's that you are needing to release these mental constructs that you have built up in your mind, and you need to return compassion back to yourself, okay? Some of you are convincing yourself that you can't do it when that's not true. You wouldn't be receiving these ideas and these declarations internally if you weren't meant to do this. Like, you can do this, and you need to start affirming that to yourself, that you can do this and that you are capable of doing it. Okay, some of you, I'm seeing that this energy is a return to something. Okay, so some of you, maybe you were like taking maternity leave for quite some time. Maybe you've been in retirement. Or like I said, maybe some of you are going back to school and you're just feeling a little bit older and a little nervous to return back to school. Okay, so there are some type of mental constructs that you've built up around this energy, because it's like you're returning to something that you had once let go of. You thought you weren't going to be returning to it, but it's pulling you back in very strongly, because there's more to uncover on this path. There's also a renewal that is meant to come of you returning to this path. And so this release card has come out because they want you to know that it's okay to have changed your mind at any point in your life. It's okay to return to something that you deeply love, that's going to bring you back into balance, that's going to bring you joy, that's going to bring you peace and harmony, that's going to raise and elevate your vibration and return you back to this state of compassion. If that's the energy that this thing, this relationship, this element, this place is going to return to you, then why wouldn't you say yes to it? Because of these judgments that you're holding over yourself? Who gave you those judgments? Nobody. You gave them to yourself. And so now it's time to give yourself permission to release those judgments, because they're not true. You can do anything your heart desires at any point in your life, at any time in your life, no matter how much time has passed by since you last connected with or associated with this thing, this creation, this job, this person, this place. You can return back to it if your heart is calling you back to it. So let yourself return back to it, okay? I'm feeling really called to this image here, the compassion card, and even this image on the release card here, where it's like both beings are one with the earth, and the earth goes through cycles, and so you have just gone through many different cycles, and now you're coming back around to a cycle that maybe you thought you put to rest, but it's a cycle that you never put to rest. It's just like you kind of put it to the side for quite some time, but now it's come back around to remind you of who you are, to remind you of what you're capable of, and what it is that you're actually meant to be pursuing, what it is that you're meant to be taking action on or creating in the physical aspect of your life. And this is the energy that's going to provide you with the feelings of feeling like the miracle that you are, because you are a miracle. You are a miracle. Don't forget that. Never forget that you are a miracle, and you can accomplish, you can pursue, you can create, you can experience anything that you want to create. And it's about time that you allow yourself to embody that knowing, that inner truth with compassion. Give the compassion that you give to others, give it back to yourself, especially in this moment, and especially when deciding and beginning to take those first steps to reconnect with this thing that you're deeply passionate about and that you're really feeling called to connect with and create and give life to. All right, loves, let's go ahead and pull your last card now. So I was feeling really called to pull out this deck. It's not one that I work with very often, but this is the Druid Animal Oracle deck, and these are animal guides. So an animal guide wanted to come out for you all in connection to this reading, and I guess in connection to the new moon in Gemini, because we really kind of dove into the new moon in Gemini messages. So let me just shuffle one more time, and then we'll get our last card. We also have the Wildwood Tarot, which has a lot of animal symbolism on it. So any of the animal depictions that you see on that card may be significant to you as well. Maybe some animal energy that you're going to be working with over these next couple days and weeks. All right, let's see what our animal guide is. Wow, we have the crane. Look at that. 4 cranes. Beautiful synchronicity there. Wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The crane is all about harmony, peace, new beginnings, joy, solitude. So some of you may be needing to spend some time in solitude while you reconnect with this thing. It's okay to open up to somebody that's close to you, a loved one, a friend, a family member, to help you overcome those mental constructs and blocks. But when you start taking action steps and actually pursuing this path, you don't have to reveal to them what it is that you're actually working on, what it is that you're creating and pursuing. You can keep that close to yourself while you return the compassion and reestablish the connection with this path that you're pursuing, or establish the connection with the path that you're pursuing. Because for some of you, it may not necessarily be a return. It may be a fresh new beginning. But I feel that for many of you, it is a return to something that was it feels like long lost to you. It's like really giving that energy of where it's, the saying, if it's meant to be, let it go. If it returns to you, then it is meant to be. Okay. And so for some of you, it's like that energy where it's finally returning back to you, and you're realizing that it was meant to be all along. You just needed to spend some time apart in order to come into the awareness that this is the path, this is the connection that you are meant to be connecting with and pursuing, because it's the connection, the path that's going to elevate you, bring you those higher vibrations, and just bring you into a place of complete trust and peace and harmony and love and compassion when you are in solitude with yourself. It's going to bring you back into that eternal balance that you've been seeking, and the reminder of just how much of a miracle you are and how capable you are. Okay, loves, and look at that. We also have the full moon here. So by the end of this next moon cycle, we are beginning the new moon cycle on May 26th. And then we have the next full moon. Let's see, when is the next full moon? Oh, here. The next full moon is going to be on June 11th. Okay, so 28 days. By the next full moon, this energy is going to be integrated very deeply for you if you start taking those steps towards what it is that you need to start taking those steps towards, or initiating those conversations that you need to initiate. It will be really deeply initiated in a way where you will not be able to turn back, because you will be connecting with something that brings you so much joy, peace, harmony, and love that why would you want to turn away from that again? You wouldn't, because it's reigniting that energy of love, peace, and harmony within yourself and your life path. Okay, so that's such a beautiful message, my loves. Thank you so much for tuning in and receiving these healing messages today. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up, and I'm just sending you so much love and wishing you a blessed new moon in Gemini. Until next time.